Hello, sir. Happily. Thank you for having us. Hi, everyone. I'm the CEO of Zacapa Resources. My name is Adam Melnik, and I'm really excited to share our story about Zacapa Resources with you today. We're a copper porphyry and gold exploration company focused on the southwest U.S. And our view is that we want to make a big discovery in a mature mining-friendly jurisdiction like Arizona or Nevada in support and enablement of the new energy economy, which we define as the scaling up of electrification and decarbonization in the global economy. I would encourage you to review our disclaimers on our website, zacaparesources.com. Here's what I'll be taking you through today. We're fundamentally quite bullish on the copper price. As you can imagine, we're very much aligned with Goldman Sachs in our view that copper will be returning over potentially $7 per pound within this decade. And this is largely driven by the adoption of electric vehicles and electrification and decarbonization technologies across the globe. This next super cycle that's being framed right now is not just driven by China, like the last super cycle. This is driven by the Western world and Asia, all investing in these technologies simultaneously. So the demand impact will be quite powerful here. We view a potential supply deficit of 25%, which is about 8 million tons of annual copper production, and that represents about 100 new mines, or about 10 escondidas. So we need to really do some great work here to make a new discovery in this market environment. Importantly, at this point in the cycle, if you look at the major mining companies around the world, they're in a very unique position, a position they haven't found themselves in for several decades, actually. They're producing record revenues, free cash flow, and paying record dividends and doing share buybacks, as opposed to pursuing growth and development of new assets. And it's our view that at some point in the next 2 years, this will begin to pivot. And investors will enable these companies to go and return to growth and look for new development projects. It's in this period of time that we intend to make a large discovery and create a lot of value for our shareholders through an exit. I'm very proud of our capital structure. At Zacapa, we have 50 million shares outstanding with 0 warrants. Our last financing was $9 million at 50 cents a share. That's roughly where our share price is today. And importantly, our share price almost doubled within 6 weeks of listing on January 26th of this year. So we are a very new company, and we have great liquidity despite being a small but ambitious group. We trade over 500,000 shares a day in Toronto, the US, and here in Frankfurt. And also, quite importantly, we, as a management team, own about a fifth of the company and are actively buying the stock. And we have some very supportive institutional shareholders, including Crescat Capital. There are 5 key reasons why I believe Zacapa presents a compelling investment opportunity at this point in time. We have, importantly, a very strong and well-established board management team, but most importantly, our technical team is bar none. We have very long-term shareholders. More than half of our shares are subject to lock-up and escrow agreements over the next 12 months. So our key founding shareholders that participated in our private $9 million financing are very well aligned to see us execute on our long-term strategy and vision. We have very well-positioned projects in the southwest U.S. that are proximal to world-class operating mines and development projects. And this portfolio is very well diversified across copper and gold, as is our budget. We have bifurcated our budget between copper and gold exploration projects, and we're well funded to go and execute this year. This is where our company has come from over the last year as a private organization. So we consolidated 6 projects within our portfolio in early 2021, raised our seed capital in Q2, a new management team joined in Q3, and we made the bold decision to start drilling our cornerstone copper project in Arizona as a private company, so we had catalysts for investors when we IPO'd in January. And this quarter have completed 3 cross listings and are about to launch our exploration program at our cornerstone gold asset in Nevada called South Bullfrog, which we're all very excited about. Here's our team. We're a very young group. We've got an average age of 38. My background is in corporate development and finance, but I'm an engineer by training. I would really like to build a mine at some point. Lisa Peterson, our CFO as well, has joined us from KGHM and Barrick Gold. She's got a lot of experience in copper and gold.
And our Vice President of Exploration, Dr. Tim McIntyre, is leading our exploration effort on the ground. He worked with Robert Friedland on the Kamoa-Kakula discovery in DRC for 5 years before pursuing his PhD at the Colorado School of Mines, focusing on the Kansanshi deposit in Zambia, which is actually Africa's largest copper mine. And Tim joined Rio Tinto's exploration team in Zambia before joining Zacapa. We're very fortunate to have him involved with the company. Here's our board. Zacapa is the brainchild of Ian Slater. Ian is an accountant and a serial entrepreneur in the mining industry. And working alongside Ian is James Hines, Mark Boisneau, and Jay Sugier. Collectively, our board has raised over $100 million for early stage mining and exploration ventures in the last 12 months. Here's our portfolio at a glance. We have 4 copper projects and 2 gold projects. We're focused in key states that are very mining friendly within the US. If you're going to play, these are the states to be in. We importantly have 60% of our properties within Arizona and Nevada, which those 2 states are responsible for almost 80% of all copper and gold production domestically. Drilling down to the state level, here's a look at our projects. In Nevada, we have the Dewdrop project in the Yerington district, which is an increasingly active district where Hudbay, Rio Tinto, and Nevada Copper are operating. Further south in the Walker Lane Trend, in the heart of the Beatty district, lies our South Bullfrog project, where AngloGold Ashanti, Kinross, Core Mining, and Augusta Gold are actively discovering new gold deposits. In Idaho, we're in the Boise Basin at Miller Mountain. In Arizona, we have 2 porphyry copper projects we're advancing called Red Top and Pearl, both within the Copper Triangle, where the super majors operate. And in Colorado, we have a resource expansion project called Tamichi that I'm very excited to tell you about. I'll quickly review our copper projects before moving on to our gold projects and then share our exploration plan for the year with you. So Red Top is our cornerstone copper project that we've been actively drilling for the last 5 months. We started drilling here in December and have recently completed our 6th hole at this project. Our target looks similar to Resolution. So this image shows about 200 billion pounds of copper endowment. About 50 billion pounds of that lies within one deposit. At the Resolution deposit being advanced by Rio Tinto and BHP, we're just 8 kilometers to the northwest of that development project. So we've drilled 6 holes at this project. As you can see, there's 5 shown on this map here. We flew an MT survey here to help us vector in on the core of this porphyry system, and our investors got very excited by us having a technical success. We discovered copper mineralization, including chalcopyrite and bornite, in our very first drill hole at this project, and we're very excited to update the market subsequently here in the coming weeks. Our Pearl project is next to San Manuel Kalamazoo. It's a mine that was operated by BHP until 2003. Importantly here, we don't have to try very hard to find copper. We have up to 7% shown at surface. This is a very important project for us as we lie along strike of the fault that offset the San Manuel portion of the deposit from Kalamazoo, and we're to the northwest. We believe we have a new porphyry center on this property that we'll be following up with a drill campaign currently scheduled for the first half of 2023. Moving over to Nevada, our Dewdrop project is in the Yerington district. This is an increasingly active district. You'll notice in the last month or so that Rio Tinto has signed a $60 million joint venture with Lion Copper and Gold, and Hudbay is advancing its Mason Copper project here. And Nevada Copper has been in production for a number of years at Pumpkin Hollow. This is actually the most recently permitted and new copper mine within the entire country, and we're just 10 kilometers to the south. So we've been doing a lot of work as a private company to understand the potential at this site. We believe we have a tilted porphyry system similar to the Yerington deposit and Ann Mason deposit, where we have the epithermal upper levels of a porphyry deposit in the west of our property, and the core of that deposit lying in the center, as you can see, shown by the high-grade surface samples we have, almost 46 grams per ton gold, and 4.3% copper outcropping at surface. This is highly prospective. We're going to be launching a drill campaign here starting in the second half of this year. Tamimichi is our fourth copper project. It's a large resource we have in Colorado. It hosts 604 million tons at 0.34% copper equivalent. We've got some great historic intercepts here, including 346 meters at 0.51% copper equivalent. This doesn't include the gold, silver, and iridium credits that could also be included in the resource. From a comparables analysis perspective, this project looks a lot like North Isle Copper and Gold, which is advancing the Island Copper project on Vancouver Island. It's Shushimu deposit there, and that company has a market cap of $50 to $100 million, depending on when you look at it. So this is a key asset for us that underpins our valuation in the marketplace. Just quickly touching on our gold projects, this is the project that keeps me up at night. It's our South Bullfrog project in the heart of the Beatty district. This is a really important and emerging jurisdiction, primarily because of so many new gold discoveries are being made here. So there are currently no assets in production shown on this slide, but there are 10 million ounces in resource, of which 50% have been discovered in the last 2 years. You may remember a company called Corvus Gold that was quite popular over here in Germany. AngloGold Ashanti bought that company for about $500 million Canadian last year, just completed that consolidation in February, and they announced their intention to build a hub-and-spoke production facility at the North Bullfrog deposit, shown just 5 kilometers to the north of our property position. So our goal here is to make a big discovery and potentially have some additional feed for that central processing facility that will be in production within the next 3 years, initially producing 300,000 ounces per year. And just to the south of our property, quite interestingly, in the last 6 weeks or so, Richard Wark at Augusta Gold has announced the acquisition of the Reward and Gold Ace projects from Waterton. That's an important acquisition because the Reward mine is fully permitted and has a water license. So we'll have a mine in operation within the next 3 years to the north of us, and a mine in operation to the south of us within 2 years. So our goal here is to make a big discovery and work with either one of these groups to bring it to fruition. We've been doing a lot of work here to understand the potential for gold mineralization on our property. We've flown 2 mag surveys here and completed an IP geophysics survey. Importantly, the epithermal gold mineralization in this district is hosted along faults and structures. So we ran this IP survey to find those faults and structures up to 400 meters depth, and we ran a high-definition geochem sampling program, so where we have anomalous gold and indicator minerals consistent with structure in the IP. That's where we're going to go and drill. So we've updated the market with the 4 target areas that we're focusing on with our drill campaign starting in July. We'll have an initial 5,000 meter program here and plenty of catalysts for investors into the fall when we have drill results to share with the market. Our 6th project is called Miller Mountain. It's a gold target we're also drilling this summer. It's in the Boise Basin, just 5 kilometers from some of the most prolific mines in this district that has historic production of 2.5 million ounces of gold. We've done a lot of work here as a private company and a public company now to get to understand the potential at this site and bring it to fruition on the permitting front. So importantly here, we really don't have to try that hard to find gold on this property. We've sampled up to 27 grams per ton at surface in rock chip samples. We have 50-meter wide quartz veins that are bearing gold. And our goal here is quite simple. It's to go back to the historic mining areas at the Miller Mine and Specimen Mine and drill along those veins and follow up on historic results, including 7.3 meters at 21.5 grams per ton gold with a good silver credit. We will likely try and move this project forward and produce a small resource here. So could be a good sleeper in our portfolio. In closing, this is the most important slide in our entire deck. It outlines our exploration plan for the year. I just shared 6 projects with you, 5 of which are exploration stage, 5 of which we're going to drill over the next 18 months. We started at our Red Top project with a nearly 6-month-long drill campaign, which we executed technically successfully, and from a management standpoint, quite successfully as well. It was on time, on budget, and we had no lost time injuries in the process of completing that project. We're subsequently moving to our cornerstone gold project in the Beatty district at South Bullfrog before starting a program at Miller Mountain in Idaho, and ideally we'll crystallize some value from our gold assets and look to capitalize on our 2 porphyry copper targets in the Yarrington district and the Copper Triangle of Arizona. So plenty of catalysts and drill results expected from our work over the coming year. Thank you very much for your time. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Adam. Any questions?
The share price dropped down 50% from the high. Was it just now in the case of the war, or is something institutional selling some shares? What is your explanation, or just normal ways going?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one I'm highly concerned about. As our CEO, we are trading about at our IPO price. We just IPO'd in January. I think if you look at our comparables, over the same time period, they're down about 50%. So I think we're faring very well in the current market climate. And I'm quite proud that our shareholders are invested for the long term and see the potential within our portfolio, and the fact that we as a management team have an immense amount of conviction. It's important to remind everyone that copper is still well over $4 a pound, and gold is near $1,900 an ounce. Our portfolio is perfectly structured, and our plan is perfectly structured to go and deliver lots of catalysts in a very strong metals price environment. So I would encourage you to ignore market fluctuations.
Adam, when do you start drilling Bullfrog? It must be a matter of weeks, probably?
That's correct, Mike. Thanks. Yes, we're starting in July.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
We will